dopamine detox or dopamine fast. Now, we have many YouTube videos about how to do dopamine detox and why is it so important. And I think that the main issue about dopamine detox is that we need dopamine. It's very important, but we don't want the cheap dopamine of watching Netflix or junk food, having casual sex. We want something that is more meaningful, and we want to get dopamine out of meaningful things. And as a top world expert in the science of dopamine, what do we know about dopamine fast or dopamine detox?
Well, that's a phrase that has, sort of emerged as a kind of trendy lingo to describe whenever we decide to forego or avoid our particular drug of choice for a period of time. Whether that's a substance that we ingest or a behavior that we engage in, we commit to not doing it for a period of time. That's what dopamine fasting is referring to. And, the concept of dopamine fasting has been around for millennia, right? Almost every major religion has a period of time, which coincidentally or not, is about a month, where people give up, some kind of rewarding behavior for that period of time. And what we're finding treating patients with addiction, including many different types of addictive behaviors and substances, that when people abstain from their drug of choice for 4 weeks, they initially feel worse in the first 10 to 14 days. It's extremely difficult. But if they can push through that period and get to week 3 and week 4, they tend to feel better. And they feel better, not just better than they felt in the first 2 weeks of withdrawal, but often better than they have in a really long time. And the hypothesis is that that period of abstinence allows the brain to reset reward pathways by upregulating, dopamine production and transmission back to healthier baselines. So that's what we're talking about with a dopamine fast. Now, I will say that what has become trendy is kind of like the tech bro Silicon Valley dopamine fast, where they go into a cave for a week and then emerge and get high just looking at a little green leaf. And that's the same concept. I mean, it is the same idea from the, perspective of what may be happening in the brain, but it's not what we're doing here in clinical care. It's not practical for most people. And it's also just not the target. We're targeting a very specific substance or a very specific behavior that's clearly become problematic in that person's life. Cannabis, alcohol, nicotine, online pornography and compulsive masturbation, online shopping, online social media, video games, online gambling. These are the specific behaviors that people come in with and say, this is wreaking havoc in my life, or it's a problem, or I don't even think it's a problem, but my spouse does, or I'm just wondering if it's a problem, or that's not even my problem. I'm depressed and anxious, and could you fix that? And are realizing that, wow, just a dopamine fast or an abstinence trial from the drug of choice might actually help this person's depression or anxiety without our having to do anything else. So that's kind of how we're implementing it in clinical care. And it's completely adapted from what we've seen in patients with severe drug and alcohol addiction who are able to stop for a month and find that not only does the craving get better, but their mood gets better, their sleep gets better, their energy gets better, their whole sense of well-being gets better.